look at this. This is amazing. So this is a ancient tablet that has now been dated using the plants that were gathered up when the people that was making the clay sort of gathered up the clay near probably a riverbed, and now there was plant extracts inside this clay which now have been tested for dating using DNA testing. And it was around the time of King Ashurbanipal II. But the problem I've got is you read that, and then a bit further on, if you do any studies on how accurate the dating is of plants, it's not 100% accurate. So here it says, because of the inscription on the brick, we can allocate the clay to a relatively specific time period of that region. So in other words, because it talks about something on there, don't worry about the DNA, we're going to go by that. So this is why you can never really trust mainstream.
They're collectives, they're races of beings, and there's actually, each one of those gods is a different collective, a different race of.
So this gentleman's saying that the Anunnaki are actually a mixed race. In other words, they're from different places and they're not all the same, such as humans are all pretty much the same. This person's suggesting that, as you saw there, the word Pleiadians, etc. So I would like to ask for the evidence that the Anunnaki are not one particular race called gods. That's their race name, but obviously that person has not seen the thousands, millions of texts that says that, or hasn't actually caught on that that's what it says. So if you could show me, anyone, show me evidence. I'm sorry, this is what I do. This is my channel. I need evidence, and obviously the evidence I've got suggests that they're all of one race from one planet, which I've done many videos on with evidence. So if anyone's got any evidence they're all different, please show me, but it's not gonna happen.
He would create a kill order. He would spray their crops to cull.
Billy's talking about Enlil, who was the god of Israel at that time. Now what Billy probably doesn't know, because I'm the only one that's worked it out, is the same tablets that he's talking about I've also read. It turns out they are the 10 plagues of Egypt that was actually done in Israel, but the after effects of what he's talking about and what Enlil did ended up over in Egypt. So when they blocked off the waterways, for example, all the animals and frogs migrated to the Nile. And that is why we have the 10 plagues of Egypt, only because people there were still alive writing about it, whereas the people in Israel that was getting bumped off, including with viruses, if you actually read the text properly. So yeah, feel free, Billy, if you need any help, just ask. Thanks. How do you spray from a plane over a city that has no fly zone? Maybe just spray from the ground and pretend you're spraying parasites. 500 million, they'll get it down. I find this interesting. This person's lack of faith is disturbing. And the reason why is because he posted on one of my videos saying that basically God created man. So I said, would you like to see evidence to the contrary of that? I can actually show you. And then he replied with this: God created heaven and earth, God created man and woman. So basically what he's done is he's avoided my point about the evidence, which means his faith is really strong. However, it can't be that strong because he doesn't want to see the evidence. Now, if he's got 100% faith in his beliefs, then he should be able to watch my video with evidence to prove that it was the Anunnaki alien race that created man. But he's not done that. He's avoided that. So it's interesting to see how strong people's faith is when really push comes to shove. He's got no faith. Otherwise, he would have said, yeah, I'll watch it and I'll be able to debunk it. But he didn't do that. So interesting. Lack of faith. Disturbing. Hear me out, this may save your life. So in my book, cough cough, this guy is the elite for pharmaceuticals, banking, media, and World Planet Health Organization. And they have a plan to make AI take over all of your jobs, in my book, don't forget. And they also want to reduce the population because they've got some plans. So they start telling their employees, and he says no. And they say, what do you mean no? No, you have to do what we tell you. No. Media, no, we're not going to put out any more lies in the newspapers. Pharmaceuticals says, no, we're not going to listen to you. We're not going to force people to do things they don't want to do. And these guys are like, but you have to, because we don't know how to turn the machines on or turn them off or do anything. This guy from the banking says, shut up or else I'll make you lot all skint by pressing a couple of buttons. And he could. Scientists have agreed that Planet X or Nibiru could be in our solar system. However, it does have a 3,600-year elliptical orbit according to our research. But what do scientists say? So scientists say that just about 12 hours ago that there is possibly planets hiding in our solar system. Now they're talking about it being in the Oort cloud, but it could actually be outside of the Oort cloud because the same principle applies. Planet could have a significantly elongated orbit. Of course, they're saying here that it's very hard to see because they're so far away. But what evidence other than that is there of Nibiru? Well, on my Patreon page, Patreon.com/OurTrueHistory, I actually did a video of documentary showing whether or not Nibiru actually existed. And if it does, which my video proves it does, then the Enuma Elish here shows you exactly how Earth was formed, which is in the British Museum, and shows that these were